Okay. Oh, hey. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us here today. Shout out to everybody who's joining us online today. I was promised by the Education Services team that they would be joining us today, so hopefully you folks are online. So what we're doing here today, and what we decided to try something a little bit different, invite you guys to join us here. This is one of the UC planning / rehearsal sessions that we do leading up to our user conferences every year. Our first user conference coming up in Edmonton on the 19th of September, so we're sort of putting the final touches on the demos, we're putting the final touches on the slides and that sort of thing. Now, so here's the slides, and yes, we do kick it old school. We like to print out the slides that we're going to use so we can move things around and chicken scratch all over it and take give some thought to the themes and what we want to say and what we're going to do. And what these guys are working on is some of the demos that we're going to be doing at the UCs. And we like to sort of get together, go through the demos together as a group. Lets us rehearse the timings, lets us sort of craft the message. What do we say? What goes with the demo? What do we say about what we're doing? It's not just a training session. What does it mean? And then how do the demos sort of fit in and support the theme? So there's a little bit of back and forth and give and take, and we think about where we're going to put demos and so on. There's a fair bit of thought goes into what you see on stage. So what we're doing today is just a final run through of a couple of demos. There's going to be about 14 demos that we do live during the plenary coming up this fall. We thought we'd give you a sneak peek of just a couple of them so you can sort of see some of the things that we're doing. And we're playing around with some things and talking a little bit. So let's go over here and see what Sumaiya is working on. So Sumaiya, Sumaiya's new to the UC team, so she'll be joining us at some of the user conferences. So Sumaiya, what are you working on?
I'm actually working on the new operations dashboard. And what I have is some really fun data from the city of Edmonton. I've got some programs, courses, and camps that are offered at some recreational facilities throughout the city of Edmonton. And this dashboard's really different because it's more of a public-facing dashboard as opposed to the regular dashboards you usually see. And so what this does is all these elements are used for filtering courses so you can get the perfectly matched course you want. So we can, put in some figures in here, and you'll see that the dashboard dynamically filters out the lists. And I don't want to show too much because there will be a gasping moment at the end of this, so.
All right. Hey, thanks, Sumaiya. So this is the reason we picked this one is that it's not your typical use of the operations dashboard. Now, this is the new operations dashboard that Sumaiya's been showing us, so it's completely web-based. But what we thought was kind of interesting about this idea that Sumaiya brought to us was that really it's using the dashboard in kind of a new and unique way. So, like I said, and I won't steal the thunder, you got to come to the user conference to actually see what that surprise moment is. So we'll leave it at that. Now, next I'll take things over to somebody who needs no introduction, has been around the UC team for quite some time, Mike Gregotski. Mike, what do you got for us?
Well, I'm working on ArcGIS Indoors, and we're pretty excited to show this because it's new, and it really brings into a world of smarter indoor spaces. So we see here, this is the San Diego Convention Center from the Esri International User Conference earlier this year, and we've done some routing from down on the one conference floor up to a room in the third floor here. So it's nice you can do this in 2D, you do it in 3D, and what I like about this solution is that it has a mobile component, it has tools that you use in ArcGIS Pro to take floor plans. You can make them into something that's usable across a 3D network, like we can see here going up the stairs here again in this building. And as mentioned, there is the mobile app as well. So I've done the same sort of routing here across the convention center floor into another area in the another location in the convention center here. So something pretty new, something really exciting as well there, Chris, and we'll be showing this in part 1 of the plenary.
All right, thanks, Mike. So that's a real sneak peek. I mean, the indoor application and the whole indoor solution is not something that's going to be available until early 2019, but it's something we wanted to give you a sneak peek and take a look at and show you what some of the things that are coming and how they might fit into some of the themes. So from leaving the the new and the what's coming over to the well-established. Also somebody who needs no introduction as part of our UC team is Sue. So Sue, you're working on some Survey 123 stuff, so what do you got going here?
Yeah, Chris, so there's a new capability with Survey 123 that lets you automate your workflows with Survey 123 and other apps, and it's called Webhooks. So as of this summer, you can do this. And I'm actually using Microsoft Flow, it's one of the online automation platforms, to set up a trigger so if we submit a survey response, then we'll send an email. So I have a survey here, and it's just a flood response survey. It might be useful today given the amount of rain we have. And it would be that we're collecting details from homeowners on whether there's flooding events. And we're just going to say we have a severe flood, and we're going to send our survey. And once this information is uploaded, what happens is the email that I've connected will automatically be sent to alert someone like a supervisor that we have severe flooding. So that's kind of cool because I think a lot of people want to do that. So we'll be showing that on the plenary and in more detail in our breakout sessions.
Hey, thanks, Sue. So let's, Survey 123 has been around for a while. It's great for being out in the field, collecting data. It can, as you all know, it can work online, directly connected to your GIS. It can work offline, and you can be where there's no connectivity and collect your surveys and fill everything out. What's interesting about the webhooks and an integration with a workflow pattern platform like Microsoft Flow is that you can trigger integration with other systems now using Survey 123. Now this was kind of a simple example we're working on where we just fire off an email, but you kind of get the imagination cooking about some of the things that you can work on. Now another one of the themes that we're talking about in the fall plenaries this year is analytics. So Paul Voegtle here is going to be joining us on stage here. Paul's doing a whole bunch of stuff on some of the AI and machine learning tools that are coming in Pro. So Paul, what do you got?
Yeah, so we're going to be looking at some of this new functionality available in Pro for the machine learning and analysis tools. And two particular that I have interest in is when we have missing values. So you can see we have some missing values within our data set in blue, and using the Fill Missing Values tool, we can find those missing data sets and fill in the blanks. But we're going to be using some of that diabetes data for the city of Winnipeg, and a lot of the times our data is at a very high level and we need to granulate that down. So through the forest-based classification or regression tool, which we'll explore, we can take these high level of rates of diabetes for these district areas and drive that right down into those neighborhood levels. So we'll be exploring that through the plenary session at the UC.
Hey, thanks, Paul. And so that's another example of some of the really interesting analysis and analytical things. There's going to be some other demos. Of course, we'll be showing stuff and insights as well. And kind of like I said earlier, this is a sneak peek of 4 of the demos that we're working on. There'll be 14 or 15 demos. We're still tweaking a few things, but really just scratching the surface. So it'd be great if everybody could come out, join us at the UC, see a lot of this new stuff that we're working on. Really excited to be showing it to you. So I encourage everybody, go to esri.ca/UC. Even I can remember that URL. Register for the event that's closest to you. Also, really important, make sure you go to go and download the Esri Canada Events app. You can find that on the Apple or Google stores for your mobile device. Just like we did and introduced last year, we'll be doing. Not only will you be able to sort of look at the timetable for the events and see the abstracts and speaker bios, but we're going to be doing the live Q&A during parts of the user conference this year once again. So during the actual event live, you'll be able to ask the presenters and myself questions as we go through the demonstrations and as we go through the presentations. And during the presentation, time permitting, we'll do our best to answer those questions right there and then. So lots of opportunity for you to interact with us and work on the audience. So a little sneak peek. You've seen some of the themes. A little look at some of the slides, and shout out to my team here. Thanks very much, guys, for sharing some of the things you're working on. So do join us coming up. Again, first one, September 19th in Edmonton, and that carries right through to November in St. John's, Newfoundland. So hopefully we'll see you at the Esri Canada UC. Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye-bye.